Hello, this is Fiona Kennedy again, and here is Rosie. She's come to say hi. She's not really expert in how to measure outcome, but she does like to be here for our presentations. Actually, she's going to sleep now. So I want to talk today about how we measure outcome in therapy and in other areas of life where we may be doing interventions. So one area that we're involved in, as you may have noticed from the last video, is working in Bangalore with an NGO, non-governmental organisation, called Dream a Dream, which works with rescued street children and children from disadvantage. Let me take you back for a minute to the therapy world and think about how do we know whether what we're doing is working as therapists. So if we have a CBT orientation, we might be focusing on symptom reduction. So using questionnaires, for example, to measure depression, anxiety, has that reduced? If we're coming from a more acceptance and commitment therapy orientation, we might be looking at measuring quality of life in terms of does the person have a meaningful and purposeful existence? So these are kind of two aspects of a dialectic around the idea of what we're measuring. Now in the world of charity and NGO, in India in particular, where we're familiar with the field, the donors wish to know whether what the NGOs are doing for children from disadvantage under the groups is working. So when we were faced with that question asked of us by Dream a Dream 13 years ago, we debated with ourselves whether we should focus on the mental health aspect of it. We could look at maybe the prevalence or incidence of mental health amongst the group and whether that reduced. But we also really wanted to look at thriving. So what makes somebody have what we might call a satisfying and successful life? We are very influenced by ACT, as you know, and so we kind of wanted to steer away from the idea we're trying to make people happy, because we don't really believe that happiness is the natural human condition. So we eventually settled on looking at the life skills literature. So if you're not familiar with this, a good place to start is the World Health Organization publications. The World Health Organization has identified 10 separate life skills areas, and we thought we'd start with those. So the question Dream a Dream put to us is, if we take a child from disadvantage and we give them an enrichment activity, that might be sports, it might be hockey, table tennis, football, it might be English lessons, it might be dance, it might be music, drumming, it might be community contribution. How do we know whether what we're doing is working? So we thought we would phrase that question in terms of, is this intervention improving the young person's life skills? So back to the World Health Organization, we looked at their definitions of 10 life skills, and we thought because we were going to be trying to measure the outcome for children and young people, we probably didn't want a self-report scale. We wanted an observer-rated scale, so we wanted independent observers to be able to look at the young people and assess whether they had the life skills needed for a meaningful and purposeful life or thriving. So out of the 10 life skills proposed by the World Health Organization, we looked at which ones we could operationalize, meaning which ones could we describe and define in a way that raters could assess by observing the children and young people. And after using a number of focus groups and trials, we decided on 5 life skill areas. So the life skill areas we decided on were interacting with others, so that's about relationships, overcoming problems and overcoming difficulties and solving problems, so that kind of speaks for itself. Managing conflict without fighting or running away. So our ability to manage, potential conflict and aggression is very important in life. Taking initiative, so obviously being creative, using initiative, being kind of driven, having faith in your own ideas. and understanding and following instructions, which is kind of almost the opposite of taking initiative, but it's about agreeableness, it's about being able to cooperate with other people, do what other people require you to do if it's appropriate. So these 5 life skills are the life skills that we built into a scale, which is called the Life Skills Assessment Scale. And this was developed over a period of 7 years, and we finally published that scale back in 2014 in a journal called Social Behaviour and Personality. So to make a scale is quite complicated, and we started by collecting norms for this scale. And I'll tell you all about that in another video. But right now I just want to kind of say to you that although these 5 life skills seem simple, actually you could regard them as the tips of the iceberg. So underneath each life skill is a big iceberg of other skills. If you think about it, what kind of life skills do you need to manage conflict successfully without fighting or running away? You need negotiation skills, you need skills of relating to other people, you need to be patient, you need emotion regulation skills, you need behaviour regulation skills, you need to be able to focus your attention on the other person, you need empathy, you need the ability to think through things under pressure. So there's a whole iceberg of skills underlying that. Another way we sometimes explain the complexity of this apparently simple scale is using the ideas from developmental psychology. So thinking about how we measure milestones, if, for example, we ask a young child to fasten a button, that seems like quite a simple task. But again, if you think about the tasks you need to fasten a button, you need fine motor skills, you need to understand and follow the instruction to fasten the button, you need to follow quite a complex sequence of activities, and you need patience and persistence. So a lot of skills needed just to accomplish that one fastening a button skill. So the Life Skills Assessment Scale will shortly be available on our website, www.greenwoodmentors.com. It's also available for those of you who are researchers on ResearchGate. And if you would like to write to me or email me on drkennedy@greenwoodmentors.com, we'll happily send you the scale and the paper behind it. It's free to use. So hope to hear from you, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll speak to you again soon. Bye bye. Take care.